this video, I will kickstart my main task research by analysing trailers for The Godfather, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction and Heat. These films are the most popular crime films and the oldest ones of the trailers that I'll be analysing. Hope you enjoy.
I spend my life trying not to be careless.
Never tell anybody outside the family what you're thinking of getting.
Women and children can be careless, but not men.
Spend time with your family? Good. Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. And that by chance an honest man like yourself should make enemies, then he would become my enemies. And I'll never fear you.
My father's no different than any other powerful man. Any man who's responsible for other people.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
That's my family, kid. It's not me.
The trailer starts off with the Paramount logo being displayed in text, followed by Marlon Brando and Al Pacino's names as you see their respective characters in between each title. For the first 1.5 minutes, all we hear is Don Vito Corleone's voice until Michael starts to talk about his father in such high regard, and then it goes back to Don Vito. This is all seen and heard above each clip from the film. There is non-diegetic music that starts off, which is Cillian, which represents Don Vito's heritage and where he originated from. And then the music changes into a dramatic, emotional piece as Don Vito's non-diegetic and diegetic monologue talk over it. The music eventually fades out as we hear Michael talking, which shows that he isn't as powerful as his father, but he's in line to succeed him as the Don of the family, and it shows this by how the music stops when he talks. The trailer's sole focus is on Vito, the head of the mafia family and a hugely powerful figure whose authority is shown through the trailer by the music, his large amount of screen time, and the striking dialogue in which he talks about his life and others, like his son Michael talks about how powerful his father is. The clips we see are gentle, and the 2 minutes isn't filled with action like modern trailers. We see Vito in his suit for most of the trailer, which connotes how professional and powerful he is, and also how he deals with a lot of business in the film. Whenever you see characters who aren't as important as him, he is usually in the same shot as them, showing that wherever he goes, they follow. When the Godfather is shown, there is usually a lot of key lighting on him, and his face during most of the scenes there is no backlight with the high key light on him, and his face is usually the standout picture in the shot. And this is shown throughout the trailer as a whole because the focus is on him in every shot and also in the trailer. What I like about the trailer also is how halfway through we see Vito getting killed, but we don't realise this because it's shot from a high angle, which isn't shown in the film. This was released before the film came out, obviously, so the audience wouldn't have known this, and it's something to remember for my final film trailer. The trailer is good to analyse as it's so gentle and the main focus is on The Godfather, and this is something definitely to remember for when I plan my final film trailer.
Second call, 414 Hamilton, 417. 495. Alfano, 448.
De Niro. In Bang the Drum Slowly, the critics called him a brilliant new talent. After Mean Streets, they said he was a genius. For his performance in The Godfather Part 2, they gave him the Academy Award.
Come on, man. Just get me out of here, all right?
Now, Robert De Niro creates a terrifying portrait of life on the edge of madness.
Tabby, just forget about this. It's nothing.
Taxi Driver, a film by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, people do anything in front of a taxi driver. I mean, anything. People too cheap to rent a hotel room.
Oh, driver, hurry up, will you?
People want to embarrass you. It's like you're not even there. It's like, you know, like a taxi driver doesn't even exist. This city here is like an open sewer, you know? It's full of filth and scum.
I think I know what you mean, Travis. But it's not going to be easy.
How do you guys get to be a Secret Service man? What? Well, I was just curious, because I thought maybe I'd make a good one. Hey, what kind of guns do you guys carry? 38s, 45s, 357 Magnums, something bigger maybe? Hi, I'd like to volunteer.
Why?
Why? Because I think that you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
The taxi driver is looking for a target. Getting ready. Getting organized. Preparing himself for the only moment in his life that will ever mean anything.
How much for everything?
$350 for the Magnum, $250 for the 38, $1.25 for the 25, $150 for the 380.
That taxi driver's been staring at us.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
I don't know who's weirder, you or me.
Talking to me? Then who the hell else are you talking? Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
I don't believe I've ever met anyone quite like you.
Oh, yeah?
You will never see a more chilling performance than this. Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. Jodie Foster, Albert Brooks, Harvey Keitel, Leonard Harris, Peter Boyle, Sybil Shepherd. Taxi Driver.
The trailer starts off with a yellow, presumably Travis Bickle's taxi, emerging from the smoke. Columbia Pictures is seen as the first piece of text on top of the footage, and the non-diegetic descriptive speech by an unnamed man describes not Travis Bickle, but Robert De Niro, the actor, and what is thought to be his best performance yet as Travis Bickle. This helps to add suspense and really makes the film look fantastic to the audience, as it's obviously been critically acclaimed by the narrator, and the man, after the man has stopped speaking, the focus is drawn to Travis Bickle rather than the man that plays him. The non-diegetic music in the trailer is so light it's almost unnoticeable. There is only dialogue from either Travis, Iris, Betsy or the man from the start. There isn't clearly an older approach to the trailer, as a man who has no influence in the plot describes the character, and this is brilliant as it describes what Travis Bickle is trying to do and how he is getting ready and getting organised. This is brilliant as it's been placed over clips where we see Bickle alone in his apartment, and it makes him seem more socially inept and a man who is trying to fit in, but is also vigilante and is training himself to find himself a target, as the man says. What I love about this trailer is how it starts in order, and we see Travis Bickle coming out of his shell more, and we see him become a different character and him change across the whole trailer. As the start of the trailer, he didn't speak to his customers, but in the middle of the trailer we see him talking to the man who's running for president. His character changes a lot throughout the film, and the trailer really gives a viewer an insight of what Travis is like and what to expect. We are also introduced to Betsy and Iris, two important characters to Travis's story, much like Michael was to Vito in the Godfather trailer. Taxi Driver is so good, and the clips have really been used perfect, as they aren't too action-filled, and they focus on Bickle and his personality, something which is really perfect for a trailer, as you want the audience to learn so much from the trailer that they need to see the full-length film.
Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hey, Mom, what do you think?
You look like a gangster.
By the time I grew up, there was $30 billion a year in cargo moving through Idlewild Airport. Believe me, we tried to steal every bit of it.
What do you do?
I'm in construction.
He's not Jewish.
Mazel tov.
For most of the guys, killing's got to be accepted.
Hey, Henry, here's an arm.
Very funny, guys.
Here's a leg.
There's a wing. What do you like, the leg or the wing?
For us to live any other way was nuts. And we were treated like movie stars with muscle. We had it all just for the asking.
It's gonna be a good summer.
It was a glorious time.
In a world that's powered by violence, on the streets where the violent have power, a new generation carries on an old tradition.
This trailer has got to be one of my most favourite trailers yet. It starts off with one of the most memorable quotes extracted from the film: "Never rat on your friends and always keep your mouth shut," which is James Conway's famous line where he talks to a young Henry Hill. What I love about this is how the Warner Brothers logo is played halfway through the clip, and halfway through Conway's quote it goes straight into the film, and this really draws the viewer in straight away. Henry Hill's monologue taken from the film plays throughout the whole trailer in sections. The music that plays among the clips changes halfway through, going from dark music which emphasises the crime, and then the music changes to a lighter, softer piece which highlights the access that Hill, Conway and DeVito get when they become criminals, and also the relationships that they form along the way. The trailer shows each three characters' personalities, where you see Henry Hill's compassionate side as his fiery criminal nature, with several shots where he's going from family man to a cold-blooded killer. You also see James Conway's relationships with Hill develop as Hill grows up and James takes a shine to him, and there are eventually short takes of them two showing brotherly love and brotherly affection towards each other. And then we see Tommy DeVito's temper, with him taking his anger out on a man by punching him, and then his reckless side with him firing a gun out of a car whilst Hill drives and laughs, and then his funny side as he says, "Would you like the leg or the wing?" when they are burying a dead body. The trailer focuses on all three and really glamorises their criminal nature, and even though all three end up in different directions at the end of the film, it shows the caring, loving and close nature of the three-man unit. The trailer does a fantastic job of showing their personalities in this short space in a minute and a half, and even though they are criminals, the things that they do are gruesome at times. You just can't hate the three criminals, which are Henry Hill, Tommy DeVito and James Conway.
Put the gun down!
Here are your names. Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Who cares what your name is?
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. You're Mr. White. You have a cool sounding name.
Let's go to work.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right.
What happens if the manager won't give you the diamonds?
Cut off one of his fingers. The little one.
I'm so scared in case I fall off the chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs.
If they hadn't done what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive.
It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. I'm all over the place.
You're acting like a first-year thief. I'm acting like a professional.
And your family all but coming, slap you on the back and say,
Choice he's been doing 10 years. Taking out some stupid mother. Ain't no choice at all. Bam. Bam. Bam, 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 bam.
You're under arrest, sugar.
Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Tierney, and Michael Madsen. They're the Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, Joe, want me to shoot this guy?
This is such a great, quick, fast-paced trailer, as there is a lot of action that starts off so well with the "Every dog has its day" text kick-starting the trailer. There's dialogue from all the characters, but what makes it so good is the non-diegetic song, Stuck in the Middle with You, playing alongside the trailer. This is contrapuntal music, as the scenes don't match the upbeat, jolly music that is being played. We're introduced to all the criminals like Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink and so on, and each get some screen time, with most of them either smiling or laughing, or then committing a serious crime or murder. The scenes are balanced and are either hard-hitting with threatening dialogue, or happy atmospheres filled with a lot of laughter. This represents the film, as Tarantino emphasises crime but makes sections of the film so funny with the way that they go about their crime. The music stops suddenly, first of all when the characters flick out their knife, and again when Mr. Pink is punched. This is done on purpose as it's so gripping, as most scenes are either showing confrontation or affection between the men. The trailer shows the cutthroat nature of the men with a lot of death taking place, but the contrapuntal music that takes place takes the shock away from the clips and instead makes the film memorable in doing so, as people tend to enjoy the trailer if a lot is revealed about the characters, but the gruesome side of the criminal business isn't. The trailer doesn't shock the viewer into liking the film, it makes it seem like a roller coaster ride of a film where anything can happen, like ear cutting. The end of the trailer has a narrator talking about each actor, but has the famous walking scene that is seen in the opening 2 minutes of the film, with each character being named with the man who plays them. This adds great effect as most people memorise who's in the film, and it introduces the main characters that have the most importance to the storyline before the film has even been watched by the viewer. Again, this film trailer is centralised around the main characters, like it has been for The Godfather, Taxi Driver and The Heat, as the use of the most favourable characters in the film can help to obtain a large audience for when the final film comes out.
Miramax Films is proud to present one of the most celebrated motion pictures of the year. The winner of the 1994 Palme d'Or, the best picture of the Cannes Film Festival.
Come on, let's get in character. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife? Well, he's going out of town in Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone. Take care? No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely. Girl, you see, this is a moral test of oneself.
I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted.
I love you so much, can't count on whether or not you can maintain loyalty.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. Pride only hurts, it never helps. In the fifth, your ass goes down.
I have to say, you play with matches, you get burned.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger, aren't we?
I'm prepared to scour the earth for that moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Get down, get down.
You got a corpse in a car, minus a head in the garage. Take me to it.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Maria de Medeiros, Ving Rhames, Eric Stoltz, Rosanna Arquette, Christopher Walken, and Bruce Willis.
Looking at something, friend? Ain't my friend, Luca.
Die, you mother!
A new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
You really thinking about quitting?
Most definitely.
What's you gonna do then?
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean, walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu.
Lots of the awards that it collected, like the 1994 Palme d'Or and the Best Picture of the Cannes Film Festival, before instantly being taken right into the action with the fast-paced, non-diegetic theme music played throughout most of the trailer. We're introduced to Vincent Vega, Jules Winfield, Marcellus and Mia Wallace, and Butch Coolidge. Most of the clips that are in the trailer are short takes, and there are a lot of pauses and quick cuts, when we see Jules Winfield say, "I'm sorry, did I break your concentration?" after a series of short cuts. This is so good for creating an immersive effect, as the trailer gets used to the short takes until a short monologue by a sarcastic, humorous main character is used. There are so many fast-paced scenes focused on the intense action, and although most of the film trailers that I have seen don't use a lot of action, you can still see the connection between Vega and Winfield, the romance between Vincent and Mia, and the ruthlessness of Marcellus Wallace, who is the main character's boss. The trailer explains the thrilling, unusual story, and does it in a way that seems to be in such a short space of time due to the use of cuts and short takes, but in reality it is an average length of 2 minutes for a film trailer. The trailer is so well made as it gets used to the fast-paced style of the crime film that Pulp Fiction is, with a lot of gunshots, car chases, gangsters and romance. The trailer represents the film in the best way possible, showing a lot of memorable and enjoyable scenes along with short clips of each character to show some insight into their personalities and their involvement into the plot. The film is just like the trailer, brilliantly put together with a range of different characters and unique characters, and most of all a lot of high-octane action involving a large amount of crime.
She's here. I can feel it.
You search for the scent of your prey, and then you hunt them down. That's the only thing you're committed to.
It keeps me sharp, on the edge, where I gotta be.
You want to be making moves on the street, allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner.
Now, my life's a disaster zone because I spend all my time chasing guys like you around the block.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
You've been walking through our life dead.
All I am is what I'm going after.
From The Godfather to Scent of a Woman.
What do we got?
From Raging Bull to Goodfellas.
Assume they got our phones, assume they got our houses, assume they got us.
Their performances have created a legacy of landmark films.
I want full surveillance. That's 24 hours, round the clock. We never close, open 7 days a week.
Now, for the first time, America's two most electrifying actors collide.
With this guy, there's more cheap you should pass. The bank is worth the risk. You should take it down.
12.2 million.
You're up.
This crew is good.
It ain't worth the risks you take. Like in risk versus reward, baby.
You're fugitive number one with a bullet. I'm double the worst trouble you ever had.
If I'm there and I gotta put you away, I won't like it. But I'll tell you, you are going down.
What if you do got me boxed in, and I gotta put you down? Because no matter what, you will not get in my way. I will not hesitate for a second.
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer in a Michael Mann film. Heat.
The trailer starts off perfectly, with the main protagonist, Pacino's Vincent Hanna, seen within the first 30 seconds saying, "He's here, I can feel it," and then the main antagonist, De Niro's Neil McCauley, being shown emerging from the shadows. The trailer then shows the story set in New York City at night, the time of day that the film starts off in. The music then plays is slow and faint, with the dialogue from the film being heard over it for each character. Hanna starts off talking, then his wife talks, and then after this we hear the main quote from the film that influenced the film's name: "Don't let yourself get attached to anything that you're not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat coming around the corner," all said by Neil McCauley. We then hear Hanna talking about how his life is such a mess due to the constant chasing down of men like McCauley. The trailer shows how the two are arch rivals, and this is shown through the constant back and forth dialogue between the two. The clips that are shown are mainly from an individual point of view, where Hanna is talking about his colleagues and how they all want to try and stop McCauley in the LAPD, and McCauley's talking about how the police, like Hanna, are tapping up their phones, houses, and eventually themselves. And they eventually meet towards the end of the trailer, unlike in the film where they meet halfway through, and then the plot continues and unravels in the film where they eventually comes to a bitter, twisted end. The two meet towards the end of the trailer, just like in the film, and the film is about how the two are against each other, and this is shown by the series of clips and how they act about the characters that they are against. As Hanna talks as if he's confident of stopping McCauley, and this shows a contrast to the McCauley talking as if his days are numbered, something unusual for such an experienced criminal who is so confident in himself usually. Heat is such a great film, and the 2.5 minutes of the action condensed down really represents it so well, as they really don't make films like this anymore. It's thrilling, it's eye-opening, and it's really psychological, as they are two main characters so determined, yet both so lonely and determined to actually prevail. The trailer is fantastic, and it really shows the main characters perfectly, with the main battle between McCauley and Hanna under the spotlight for the whole film, and even throughout the whole film you also see how the characters change and act towards each other, and it's shown perfectly throughout the whole trailer. I've been Lewis Sillery. I hope you've enjoyed my trailer research part 1 into legendary films like The Godfather, Heat, Taxi Driver, and all the other films that I've analysed. Thank you for watching. I hope you watch part 2 and part 3.